two main teams in Connecticut are New Canaan and Darien. So when you go down to these two just really fantastic programs.
And that will do it as Darien beats New Canaan 12-7. We take a look at the pylon, and Darien wins 12-7 as they are the 2019 FCIAC champs.
It is all but over. For the first time since 1993, the New Canaan Rams are FCIAC champions, and they will not lose to Darien for the 10th time in the championship game.
Ball game is over. New Canaan will take it by the final score of 15-6 on the Wilton Warriors, and they will advance to the FCIAC championship on Wednesday, the 15th time in program history that head coach Kristen Woods and the Rams will be fighting for an FCIAC title. Darien, their 21st trip to an FCIAC championship in program history, and you can make it, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 straight FCIAC championships reached for the Darien Blue Wave. Truly an unbelievable stretch for head coach Lisa Lindley and the Blue Wave, and on Wednesday they will be fighting for potentially their 19th all-time FCIAC title. It's the 2022 FCIAC Girls Lacrosse Championship on DAF Media, NCTV, and Local Live. And we welcome you to the beautiful Testa Field on the campus of Norwalk High School for this afternoon's matchup between the number 1 seeded Darien Blue Wave and the number 2 seeded New Canaan Rams. A pleasant good evening, everybody. Braden Shank joined alongside me, Jackson Easley. Jackson, another tradition, Darien, New Canaan in the FCIAC Championship. What do you think we're going to see?
You know what, Braden? We're in for an absolute thriller tonight. Lisa Lindley has never seen a Darien team this good, possibly. They have come into this season and just wiped through every opponent they've played so far. Undefeated coming into this game. 17-0, 10-0 in FCIAC play. And the New Canaan Rams are no slouch themselves. Coming into this game at 16-2, they have looked stellar as of late, wiping through their two previous opponents in this FCIAC tournament, beating Staples 15-3 and Wilton 15-6 in the FCIAC semis.
Taking a look at the bracket and the great tournament we have had, and a conclusion tonight at Testa Field. Darien and New Canaan, someone will be taking home an FCIAC title. We're going to jump into those semifinals, first starting with the New Canaan Rams in their semifinal where they took down the Wilton Warriors. You see the score on your screen, 15-6 in favor of the Rams. Jackson, what did you see in that semifinal on Tuesday?
Well, you know what, Braden? New Canaan really thrived in their offensive play. They were able to lean on some of their underclassmen like Devin Russell and Lexi Tully, who have really stepped up as of late. You know, New Canaan's been missing some key players this season. They obviously lost Carolyn Barron just a few weeks ago and Hollis Mullery about midway through the season. And they've had some younger players really able to step up and do some big things for them.
That's how the Rams got here. Now over to the Darien Blue Wave. They also picked up a win on Tuesday against the Richfield Tigers, 16-8. And Jackson, Darien had the momentum in that game. How do you think they're going to try to ride it against the Rams?
Well, you know, Braden, on their defensive end for Darien, they just really lean on Shea Dolce, the senior captain and goalie for this team. She's going to Boston College next year. Just really a stellar talent who can communicate with her defense, and that just really anchors the team.
We talked about it a little bit, but just the history between these two teams, and it truly doesn't get much better. The program comparison between them and the stats, the national ranking, Darien number 2 in the nation, just behind I think St. Paul from Maryland, and then New Canaan behind them at 5. The FCIAC titles, Darien looking for their 9th, New Canaan looking to play spoilers, pick up their 3rd, and they are the defending champions in this tournament, Jackson. So looking to grab that, and of course you see the 11th time these teams have met in an FCIAC title game, and it should be a good one. We're now going to jump over into some players to watch. First, starting on the New Canaan Rams side of things, and their big goal scorer, Dylan Patton. And Jackson, what do you have on Dylan?
Dylan Patton has been stellar all season long, Braden. I've been surprised sometimes when she hasn't come out of a game with a hat trick in the first half. She is just an elite player, an elite scorer. She can do it all. She's the fastest player on this entire New Canaan team, runs up and down the field, delivering great checks on the defensive end. She's a two-way versatile player who could really do it all.
Patton, the senior captain, she'll be off to Cornell in the fall for the Rams. And how about on the flip side, Darien, their big goal scorer, and Chloe Humphrey, the newest addition of the Humphrey sisters, or two sisters playing Division I college lacrosse, and Chloe potentially is the best one, Jackson.
Well, Chloe Humphrey is quite a talent, Braden. She had 5 goals in the previous meeting between these two teams, in which Darien took the win 15-11. She's going to North Carolina next year, where she'll be joining New Canaan's All-American Kaylee Harden, who's been another stellar component of that New Canaan midfield line. But Chloe Humphrey has been contributing both ways for this Darien team. She is just an elite talent.
You brought up McKenna Harden. She's also going to be joining her sister, Nicole Humphrey, for the Tar Heels. So you got to look out for them in the ACC next year as teams are getting their sticks checked. It should be an exciting one, though. Nonetheless, the tournament that started last week and now concluding here at Testafield after the year absence last year playing at Dunning Field. And no surprise, it was these teams in the championship, Jackson. The final score was 7-4 in favor of the Rams. They picked up their first FCIAC title since 1993. And it's kind of shocking, Jackson. A team like New Canaan, a storied team like New Canaan, who's made the FCIAC championship 15 times, but only taken home 2 pieces of hardware. And now they're defending this time for a first time in a while. How do you think the Rams are going to come into this one differently than they have in the past?
Well, you know, teams usually try not to let stuff like that bother them. You know, they had that long stretch, 1993 to 2021, where they weren't winning any FCIAC championships. But this New Canaan team has a chip on their shoulder after losing to Darien previously in the regular season. And Darien's also definitely going to be fueled by that FCIAC championship loss last year. Both teams have some significant hurdles to overcome if they're going to want to perform their best to win this one today.
We're now going to take a look at the starting lineups first with technically the higher seed in this one, the New Canaan Rams, so the visiting team. And their starting lineups, Dylan Patton, Caroline Underwood, Tully, and Lexi Tully on the attack for the Rams. And then moving over to the midfield, and Stella Nolan, Kaylee Harden, Devin Russell. That's a tough midfield to stop, Jackson.
100%.
And now the goalie rounding it out will be Claire Mahoney, the brown-bound senior for the Rams. Those are the starting 12 for head coach Kristen Woods and New Canaan. As the crowd still filing in to Testafield at Norwalk High School. Of course, the semifinals here on Tuesday, the doubleheader.
Number 15, Caitlin Tully. Number 23, Lexi Tully. Number 24, Ella Patterson. Number 26, Izzy Eiffel. And in goal this evening for the Rams is number 42, Claire Mahoney. Head coach of the Rams is Kristen Woods. And now here's the starting lineup for the Darien Blue Wave. Number 2.
Now over to the Darien side. Their starting attack, Chloe Humphrey, Kelly Holmes, Ryan Hapgood, and Molly McGuckin for dynamic offensive scores. Then on the midfield, we've got Ramsey, Stein, Stafford, and Benoit. And then rounding it out in net will be Shea Dolce and her defense of Massey, Darby, and DeMarc. And Jackson Shea Dolce won the FCIAC championship MVP as a freshman. And now back in this game 3 years later, her senior year, looking to cap it off with an FCIAC championship. How do you think that's going to play into Darien's mentality this afternoon?
Well, obviously, when you have a goalie like that in the cage, you can increase your aggressiveness on the defensive end. Pretty much every year, Shea Dolce has been in goal for this New Canaan, or Darien team, rather. She's been one of the best goalies in the entire state, and she's just gotten better as the years have gone on. Her senior year, she's playing as well as I've ever seen her play, Braden. And when you have a player like that, your defense can be more confident taking some risks.
It is indeed. And Dolce, the Boston College-bound senior for Darien, now coming out, meeting her offense. And we're now going to send you to the national anthem in this one. As always, the rendition splendid, and we are just about ready for the FCIAC Championship, Darien and New Canaan. And it's the game of the year, if you will. You kind of knew Jackson coming into this season. Darien and New Canaan, the front runners. You kind of expected them to be ending up here at Testafield today, and that narrative stayed true all season. They stayed strong. Darien, the 17-0 season. New Canaan, 16-2. And when you have two top-tier teams like this, how do you think that affects the play?
Well, you know, we're going to be in for a great game. Obviously, both teams have superpower offenses. They can just score at will on both sides. But with two great goalies in Mahoney and Dolce in the net, it'll be interesting to see how this game is from a scoring perspective, whether we're going to see a super high-scoring game or more of a defensive struggle. But obviously, both teams came into the season ranked in the top 10 nationally. Two elite programs, a great rivalry. We're in for a treat today.
They are indeed. New Canaan, their 2 losses all season coming against the Darien Blue Wave in the regular season. They lost 15-11, as well as a heartbreaker to the Victor Blue Devils 8-7, in which on the flip side, Darien just pulled one out against the Victor Blue Devils 10-9, scoring last second was Ryan Hapgood to give Darien the win. So they kind of struggled against the same teams, but nonetheless, they are back here today fighting for a piece of hardware. It's Darien and New Canaan. And of course, they are border rivals of each other. Any sport they play, a big matchup, as the goalies will take their posts with their respective teams. Darien, the 1 seed, will be in their black jerseys, blue numbering. New Canaan in their white jerseys with the red numbering.
And Braden, you mentioned that Victor game for New Canaan. They've really turned around their season so much from that point. I feel like that game was a really pivotal kind of wake-up moment for them. They went down about 5 goals early in that game. They started to surge and come back, and right when they tied it up, they lost their star player, Hollis Mulry, to a knee injury. They've been missing her for the rest of the season. But ever since that game, they've really turned it on, and this New Canaan team is ready to make some waves tonight.
25 minutes on the board. Maggie Ramsey and Kaylee Harden to get us started in this FCIAC Championship for 2022. All the nerves here. The whistle is blown and we are underway. The first draw on the ground. McGuckin's going to knock it out and she will gain control. So the Blue Wave will start on the offense. Darien first on the offense, over to the stick of C.C. Stein. Now Sadie Stafford. Darien falling to the ground on it, passing it over to Stafford. She's going to drive inside. Ducking that one off. Here's Ryan Hapgood. So far, New Canaan, the defense coming out to play. Stein's going to try her luck. Being guarded tightly by Russell. Dumping that one off. The shot rifled by Stein, out of play. Possession staying with the Blue Wave.
And Braden, one thing we've seen all season long from this Rams team is they tend to allow teams to score the majority of their goals in the first 10 minutes of the game, and they slowly tighten up their defense as the game progresses. It's going to be very interesting to see how they come out and start against this Darien offense.
It is indeed. Of course, both teams want to get the early momentum going for themselves. As here, C.C. Stein took the first shot for the Blue Wave. The pick there, and they're going to call a charge on the Blue Wave. And number 2, Chloe Humphrey. We saw a ton of those on, not a charge rather, but an illegal pick on Humphrey. And Humphrey committed 2 charges in the semifinal against Richfield. So the offensive foul is coming back to bite the Blue Wave. And now the Rams will get their first free position and their first offense of the afternoon. Here's Russell taking it across the midfield. Ball pickpocketed from McGuckin. And they're going to blow it dead.
In terms of forcing that turnover, that's a great play and great agility there from Devin Russell. She's only a sophomore, but one of the elite defenders and offensive players for this Rams team.
Here's now Devin Russell. Whistle blown, and they're going to stop the clock. We're going to see our first card in this game as Kelly Holmes will go to the box. And Jackson, how big is this momentum now for New Canaan?
Well, you can immediately tell both teams really care about this game. Darien's a little bit chippy coming into this one right out of the gates. You know, they're physical. You can tell the teams are fired up.
So Kelly Holmes going to go to the penalty box. Her first yellow card in this one, and New Canaan will get their first shot at the man up. You can tell it's definitely been an aggressive one since the start, Jackson, and we still got another, pretty much an entire game in front of us still. Kaylee Harden passes that one over to Tully. Lexi Tully had 2 goals against Wilton in the semis on Tuesday. Now behind the net at X with Caitlin Tully. Right back over to Patton. And Harden stumbles with but recovers. Quickly met with the double team. This one now retreated back to X. Here's Tully over to Patton. Patton's going to shoot, stopped by Dolce. Rebound grabbed by Nolan.
And it looked like Stella Nolan caught that ball off the deflection right on the crease and got leveled.
And that one is now going to set up our first free position of the afternoon at the 8-meter. And we'll be in the stick of number 5, Stella Nolan. Nolan going to shoot, stopped by Dolce. And 2 big saves by Shea Dolce.
And a phenomenal save there by Dolce, Braden. You know, she had 10 saves last year in their loss in the FCIAC title game. Just such a great goalie who can really perform and deliver saves in those clutch opportunities.
Yes, indeed. And Dolce made 9 big saves in the semifinals on Tuesday when the team took down the Richfield Tigers. Moving this one around is Morgan Massey, the junior committed to Cornell. Whistle will be blown on it. Possession staying with the Blue Wave. Free position for Massey.
And New Canaan really likes to ride on the clears. All 3 attackmen are willing to hustle and run after players. They've been doing it all season long, Braden.
And that's something this Darien team is going to do. Slow this game down, pass it around, look for the opportunities. As they find that one up the middle to Stafford. She's going to dodge and try the ride. Now being double teamed. Whistle blown. They're going to say she stepped out of bounds. Stafford in disbelief on that one. Stella Nolan going to restart it for the Rams. And a good job by the New Canaan defense to apply the pressure. Here's the Rams. Kate Coyote, the junior defenseman for the Rams, really stepping up in the injured place of Carolyn Barron. Now New Canaan is going to try to slow this tempo down, match the pace of Darien. That's something you look at the history between these teams, and recently a lot of low-scoring games.
That's right, and that can just be attributed to the strength of the defenses that both coaches build in their programs and the values they really instill in their
And
teams.
shoots that one, stopped by Dolce. Make it 3 saves for Shea Dolce on the afternoon, and Kate DeMarc will get the rebound. DeMarc going to stay with it, quick through the whistle. She's just going to keep on coming with it. The Virginia commit, Kate DeMarc, into the attacking third, dumping it off to Holmes. Great transition from DeMarc. And now Maggie Ramsey. Here's McGuckin, being pushed away by Coyote. Now Holmes over to Stafford. Stein passing it along over to Humphrey. Chloe Humphrey looking to get something here, the #1 recruit for the class of 2023. And the whistle blown on there. Chloe Humphrey will get the free position. This is where she really thrives here, Jackson, and if you're Claire Mahoney, you have to be on high alert.
100%. Mahoney's generally been solid in these 8-meter attempts, but she has to step up. It's a big game for her.
Humphrey shoots and scores. Chloe Humphrey with the goal, and Darien goes up 1-0.
It's just the start Darien needed. If you can draw first blood in a big title game like this, it does huge, huge benefits for the morale and kind of outlook of your team. But you've got to think this New Canaan defense is missing Carolyn Barron's experience out there. You know, they've kind of looked out of sorts, and they haven't played a team of Darien's caliber on the offensive end so far in this FCIAC tournament.
A big goal from Chloe Humphrey to get us started, the junior for Darien. And you got to assume that first goal a big one for Darien, and especially in setting that tempo and showing you're here to play. Kaylee Harden and Maggie Ramsey on the draw. 18:53 in the opening half. one up in the air. Man, both of them jump for it on the ground. Ground ball past the stick of Harden, now past the restraining line, and Kaylee Harden will grab the control of the draw. Mahoney passing it along over to Devin Russell. Russell had 5 goals against Darien in the regular season. She's going to ride it now. Being quadruple team, staying with it. Now going against Casey Benoit, the Syracuse commit for Darien, just a junior. The midfielder now passing it over to Lexi Tully. Tully's going to take her shot at the net. Going to keep it with her at X now. Darby going to play the defense, the Colby commit for Darien. Tully's still going to pass it along to Devin Russell. Keep it moving. Russell had a goal against Wilton in the semifinals on Tuesday. The shot there by Tully, and it's in. Caitlin Tully with the goal for New Canaan, and we are knotted up at 1.
And a stellar dodge there by Caitlin Tully. Made multiple moves, got the defender slipping, gets right by her and drops it right into the back of the net from the doorstep.
Caitlin Tully with the goal, and we are tied up here. A big goal for New Canaan to stay in this game.
And Braden, they're so happy to have Caitlin Tully back in the lineup. She missed the first third or so of the season with that ACL injury she was recovering from. A stellar player, and now she gets to join her younger sister, Lexi Tully, in the attack lineup out there for New Canaan.
And of course, their younger sister, Maddie Tully, still coming up in the ranks for head coach Kristen Woods. So the Tullys are far from done in playing at New Canaan High School, as we are 1-1 in this FCIAC championship. Once again, Harden and Ramsey. Referee checking the sticks. Of course, we expected this the well-officialed game this afternoon, the biggest contest in the FCIAC for girls lacrosse this year. The draw's flicked over. They're going to call a restraining line violation on, I think, McGuckin, going in favor of New Canaan. So now the Rams quickly knocked out of the stick of Appelt. Izzy Appelt, the sophomore, playing on the defense. She's going to get it in transition over to number 8, Devin Russell. That's actually Caroline Underwood, the junior, number 9. She had a goal against Wilton in the semifinals on Tuesday. And now Caitlin Tully, she scored the one for New Canaan. Darby playing the defense.
And back to that clear, Braden, you got to credit Izzy Appel with great recognition.
In front of the net, and that one is in. A beautiful goal from Lexi Tully, and New Canaan takes their first lead on the afternoon.
Both the Tully sisters on the board early in this game, and just the response New Canaan needed to that Darien opening goal, coming out with 2 unanswered, and this is just the back and forth game that we expected coming into this one.
The sophomore, Lexi Tully, had 2 goals against Wilton in the semifinals. She picks up her first one in this one. And New Canaan now with their first lead of the afternoon. And Jackson, it was a slow first 5 minutes in this one, but the pace has really started to pick up as New Canaan scores their second in a row.
You know, both these teams are just so well coached. Once the game gets flowing a little bit, they're able to diagnose the weaknesses in the other team's defenses and really just exploit those, as we've seen so far.
Here's Sadie Stafford now coming into the draw circle. She's going to replace Maggie Ramsey. This one out and picked up once again by the Rams. New Canaan, they're going to stay on the attack, their 3rd draw control of the afternoon. Here's Underwood now behind the net to Tully. Caitlin Tully, the senior. She'll be off to Cornell to play lacrosse in the fall. Patton passing it along over to Kaylee Harden. We mentioned the North Carolina Tar Heel. She'll be joining Darien's Chloe Humphrey in a couple of years, and her sister, McKenna Harden, currently a Tar Heel. Pass just past Stella Nolan. She'll recover. Nolan, high pass, soars past Tully. And a great job by Tully to recover and now take it inside the arc. Lexi Tully, the sophomore, has just been a crucial part of Kristen Wood's squad this year and really leading them to this FCIAC title game this afternoon. Underwood getting it over to Stella Nolan. Nolan selected to the American Select Connecticut team for the class of 2023. That's now New Canaan, Kaylee Harden. taking it right up the middle, shooting and scoring. Kaylee Harden, the senior, puts New Canaan up 3-1.
And Darian's defense looked really sharp on that possession, Braden. They were jumping into the passing lane, cutting off the open cutters from New Canaan, but Kaylee Harden just dominated them with some superior athleticism, taking it straight up the middle and sniping it past Shea Dolce.
Kaylee Harden with the goal for the Rams, and we're going to see our first timeout in this one taken by Lisa Lindley and the Darien Blue Wave. And Jackson, what's really happened in Darien in these last couple minutes? They scored the opener, then they've given up 3 unanswered.
Well, you know what? The New Canaan Rams have just been able to control a bit more of the possession in the past few minutes. They've had the ball on their end. They're really just taking it to Darien, dodging at will and kind of creating offense through their playmakers. Darien just needs to settle down. Obviously, they have plenty of firepower on their offense. They just need to get a possession, settle it down, and get it to a player like Humphrey who can dodge and just punish the Rams defense.
So New Canaan has scored 3 unanswered. Caitlin Tully, Lexi Tully, and Kaylee Harden adds 1 to her cause. 3-1 where we stand. You are watching this production of the DAF Media Network in conjunction with Local Live at NCTV. We're going to take a short break and be right back. Welcome you back to Testa Field. Play about to resume in the draw circle, as it will be for Darien. Number 8 in Colette Quinn, the junior off to Princeton. She'll now take her shot in the draw circle. Darien won the opening draw, but has lost the last 3. And it's definitely shown as this New Canaan team continues to surge.
We say it all the time, lacrosse is a game of possessions, Braden. And New Canaan's really dominated the possession game so far in the first 10 or so minutes of this first half.
And that one will be going in favor of the Blue Wave, the violation on New Canaan. So Quinn comes out, gets her first draw control. Darien moving it around. They have not seen much offense in the last 5 minutes or so. Hapgood trying to get something over to Stafford. Sadie Stafford, the sophomore for Darien. Out of the stick of Kelly Holmes, another sophomore. Holmes going to try to dodge to the cage, shoot, and score! Kelly Holmes, the sophomore, cuts this game down to 1.
Only a sophomore, but how about the speed, Braden, to cut across the entire New Canaan defense, sweeping around, cuts it down the right alley at the end there, and just snipes it right on the left side of Claire Mahoney.
Kelly Holmes going to the stick side of Claire Mahoney and beating her. A big goal for the Blue Wave. And Kelly Holmes, a sophomore that was kept off the stat sheet on Tuesday, but getting her name heard today. Now we will see Harden and Quinn right back at the draw control, or to the draw circle rather. Quinn took the last control, looking to make it 2 in a row. That one up. Not much airtime on it, but the ground ball is going to be fielded by Harden. She's going to get it to the offense. With the stick of Stella Nolan. Nolan, the Michigan commit for New Canaan. Over to Caitlin Tully. Tully, only a second-year varsity player, senior for the Rams. Definitely a talented one. Dylan Patton, the MVP of this FCIAC championship game in 2019. Dylan Patton. And then right here, Shea Dolce. And that one intercepted by Stafford. I was just saying, Shea Dolce, the MVP of the, Dolce was the MVP of the 2019 game, and Dylan Patton was of the 2021 FCIAC championship game. Easy to get them confused, but they're both out tonight, and it's going to be interesting who beats that matchup.
Great job by the Blue Wave there, Braden, forcing a turnover. You know, Caroline Underwood's had that move work for her several times this season where she cuts around to the crease, catches a feed for a little dump shot, but great awareness by Darian's defense.
Darien has definitely done their prep on this game and this New Canaan team. The push there. Whistle is going to be called, setting up the free position. Patton can't believe it. But Ryan Hapgood, the Dartmouth junior, will get the free position. Looks like just around the arc. The 8-meter for Ryan Hapgood. Humphrey scored on her free position, 8-meter. Hapgood gonna go to the cage, shoot and score! Ryan Hapgood with the goal, and we are tied up at 3.
What a great shot there by Hapgood, Braden, and great placement to get it past Mahoney, who usually does not let 2 8-meter shots score on her in a row.
Ryan Hapgood had 2 goals against Richfield in the semifinals, and we are tied at 3. And a common trend, all the H last names for Darien scoring. You have Humphrey, Holmes, and then Hapgood for Darien. And we are tied at 3. It's also interesting, you look at those 3 name jacks, and 3 players that should be returning for Darien next year. Not a single senior yet on the board. But of course, Darien will have the goaltender change next year with Shea Dolce leaving for Boston College.
Both programs have so much depth, Braden, and these underclassmen and even freshmen who get minutes in these big games. You know, for the years to come, both New Canaan and Darien may be in this FCIAC championship game again.
Even look at players like Sadie Stafford, who scored 2 goals in the FCIAC championship last year as a freshman. It's crazy to think about. And now we see DeMarc and Harden. That one, DeMarc quickly on her stick. The ref's going to call it right back. Don't think you can do that. And now they're going to, New Canaan's going to make their first change. Lexi Tully coming into the circle. Now Tully and DeMarc. 13:39 left in the opening half. Now this one is up. And Harden can't grab it. DeMarc's going to get a stick on it. The hot potato continues and eventually is grabbed by the Rams. Here's Stella Nolan now. Over to the stick of Dylan Patton, the senior. Patton had 2 against the Blue Wave in the regular season. Both sidelines now getting into it. As well as the packed house here at Norwalk's Testa Field. Behind the net is Underwood. She had 2 goals against the Wreckers of Staples in the quarterfinals. Dylan Patton.
In these settled possessions, New Canaan loves to go to Caitlin Tully, dodging from X. Interesting to see if they'll try to get it to her here, Braden.
Kaylee Harden going to retreat it out to Russell. And New Canaan is just looking for the opportunity and no rush whatsoever. And that's the thing, no shot clock, nothing to rush them. You got to look for that golden opportunity. Here's now Nolan, right back to Harden. Kaylee Harden, an All-American this season for the Rams. She's going up against the All-American Shea Dolce in net right now for the Blue Wave. Nice move. Dodging is Underwood. Well, that's actually Russell. She shoots it just high of the net. Possession staying with the Rams.
You know, that's a great possession shot there by Russell. Not much going for her. Kind of got trapped. Just put one where either her team backs it up or it goes in.
And they're going to actually award the 8-meter shot to Devin Russell. So a big one for the Rams. Russell's going to step right out back with it. New Canaan converted on every one of their first 6 free positions in the semifinal against Wilton. That one smartly retreating it. Now here's Caroline Underwood over to Harden. Harden now getting it to the stick of Devin Russell. Keeping it moving now at the 20-yard line, bringing it across. Russell, back to Dylan Patton. Canaan looking for the holes in this Darien defense, not able to find one yet. That's really the toughest part here for any team, especially when you play a team like Darien. Devin Russell going to try her luck, passing right back to Harden. Here's Russell dumping off to Harden, and whistle is blown on it. They're going to set up Kaylee Harden with the 8-meter shot, and a big one for Kaylee Harden, the senior for the Rams.
It's a big opportunity for the Rams. Darien defense been stifling them so far on this possession.
Kaylee Harden, whistle is blown once again. Going to try to dump this one up. Is pickpocketed on the ground. It's loose, and the whistle is going to turn it over to Darien. Big call going in favor of the Blue Wave. And now here's Sadie Stafford. And that's an interesting thing, Jackson. You look at the free positions as this one is now knocked, staying with Stafford. A different mentality for New Canaan. On Tuesday, they were very much go to the goal and try to score. Today, more conservative with it, retreat it out, get the offensive possession.
You know, against a goalie like Shea Dolce, you have to be careful. Those opportunities aren't as easy as they seem with a goalie like that in net. And with this Darien team, you have to take every possession very, very carefully and be prudent with the ball.
Darien now on the offense. Here's number 9 and CC Stein, the Michigan-bound senior, over to Sadie Stafford. Now to Chloe Humphrey, looking to run the play. That's actually Hapgood. The flag has been pulled on it. The ball knocks loose. Flag has been thrown away, and now New Canaan gets the possession. Devin Russell coming down the field with it into the midfield. Gets the pass over to Stella Nolan. Nolan taking it now into the offensive attacking zone. That's Tully. Right back over to Nolan. Now to the stick of Russell. Under 9 minutes to go in this opening half. Darien and New Canaan in the 2022 FCIAC Girls Lacrosse Championship. Dylan Patton. You can definitely tell New Canaan, this was their strategy coming into today, was just slow the ball down, look for the opportunities, do not rush anything. They've been in no rush whatsoever all afternoon.
100%, and quite a quiet stretch here for both teams. Neither team's really gotten anything to click after that wave of goals.
Great job by Darian, DeMarc, and Benoit to knock it down to the ground. And now here's Casey Benoit taking it into the attacking zone. Benoit will dump it off into the offense, and Maggie Ramsey. Casey Benoit, the midfielder, playing more on the defensive end, and really just been a great job for head coach Lisa Lindley this season.
And I think Benoit could have had an opportunity there to attack the cage if she wanted it. Certainly numbers on the offensive end for her, but you know, this New Canaan defense is tough, and she wisely just pulled that ball out and slowed it down to give her team a settled possession.
CC Stein at X, gonna try the dump off to Humphrey. She's gonna shoot and score. Avoiding the crease and scoring is Chloe Humphrey as Darien retakes the lead.
And a great play there. Cutting, finding the open player, and just sniping it past Mahoney to end this little scoring drought we've been seeing. Both teams have been going back and forth here to start this first half, and I'd like to see New Canaan try to respond to that goal. You know, they went up 2 goals at one point. Darien responded with 2, and now another one to take the lead.
And I mean, you look at the runs in this game, Jackson. Darien scored the first goal. New Canaan scored 3 unanswered, and now Darien has scored 3 unanswered. So definitely a game of runs indeed. And now it will be Ramsey and Tully back in the draw circle. Now trying to figure out who they have around the circle. Will be Stafford and DeMarc, Harden and Russell for the Rams. So far, 5-2 our score in the draw circle in favor of the Rams. So Darien not able to get much going. And that one will be coming away actually with Russell. Make it 6 for the Rams. And McKean looking to get their first goal in some time. Kaylee Harden.
You know, New Canaan's been quiet on these settled offensive possessions as of late, Braden, and I'd like to see them settle things down, kind of get the ball into their playmakers' sticks, and just try to find a cutter after trying to lull this Darien defense to sleep a bit.
Canaan's gonna try to just get some offense together. They were up 3-1 at one point in this game as Hardin now moving around with it, looking for an open defender, and the Darien defense playing locked down. No one open. Here's Tully. She's going to dodge to the cage. Flag has been pulled on it. And we're going to see the free position at about the 8-meter arc. It's actually the 12-meter arc. My apologies. Free position for the Rams. That's Tully with the restart. Trying to get with it is Russell. Russell looking for someone, but Darien has not given anything to this New Canaan team. Tully right back over to Hardin. Kaylee Hardin handing that one off to Dylan Patton. Devin Russell had 5 goals against Darien in the regular season. A big score. Here's Patton. She's going to wrap around, shoot, stopped by Dolce. Shea Dolce's 4th save in this one. And Kate DeMarc now is going to run around the circle with it.
And that's a phenomenal save by Shea Dolce. Dylan Patton has had success with that shot all season long, ripping down the right alley. But just superior play by the goalie there.
Dolce had the 10 seconds in the goalie circle. Risky pass completed to her fellow captain, CC Stein. And now Stein's going to use the speed. Running around with it, tracing Stella Nolan and Dylan Patton with her. Dolce, Hail Mary completed over the middle, just dropped by Quinn. Good recovery, though, by Collette to stay with it. Quick whistle there. Pass completed to Ramsey. 5 minutes left in the opening half. And one that is not disappointed. Maggie Ramsey, the USC senior. And pass it over to CC Stein. Darien now behind net at X is CC Stein. The bunch up of players. Stein's going to wrap around, try to take it herself. The flag has been pulled on it. Stein still trying to go to the cage. The ball knocked out of her stick. And CC Stein will get the 8-meter free position.
Great job by Stein there, just taking it straight to Devin Russell, creating a great opportunity for her offense. And Darien has really been lethal so far in these 8-meter attempts, Braden.
They have indeed, and 2 of their 4 goals coming off the 8 meters, and CC Stein looking to make it a 3rd. Whistle blows it in. Stein goes to the net, shoots, and scores! CC Stein extends the Darien lead to 2, and the 3rd time Darien's converted on the free position at the 8-meter. Darien faithful now cheering for that one. You see the goal. CC Stein, the captain for Darien, just beating Mahoney on that far post.
And you've got to expect a response from New Canaan here. They've let up a 4-0 run to the Blue Wave, and that's not very characteristic of them. They've been a great defensive team all season long. They just need to step up, settle down, and get some productivity on their offensive end.
Once again, this game was 3-1 in favor of New Canaan about 5 minutes or so ago. Now it's 5-3 Darien as they've really shifted this one. New Canaan takes their 7th draw control. And that's the thing, Jackson. You look at the draw controls, and it's going for New Canaan. They just can't score past Shea Dolce.
That's right. They've had long, settled possessions, created opportunities, created 8-meter attempts and shots, but Shea Dolce has just been a brick wall in net.
New Canaan on the restart. Here's number 5, Stella Nolan. Nolan going to try to get past her defender in Darby. Dumping this one off. And that one is in. The feed to Stella Nolan, who finishes. And New Canaan breaks the streak.
That was some gorgeous lacrosse right there, Braden. You can't draw it up any better than that. Lexi Tully with the pass that couldn't have gone anywhere else and been completed to Stella Nolan, who just caught that and sniped it right past Dolce. Great response, and that's exactly what the Rams needed.
Stella Nolan draws her defender away wide open in front of the cage, catches the pass and throws it right in. And Stella Nolan on the stat sheet in this one, the junior for New Canaan, continues to make it a 1-goal game. Back in the draw circle, Darian looking to find some success here and get the offense going. That one up, and McGuckin knocking Russell to the ground, and the Blue Wave will come away with it. Stafford. Chloe Humphrey on the near side, being guarded by Tully. Pass there, stopped by Mahoney. First time I have a save recorded for Mahoney in this game. Probably wrong on it, but Darien will stay with the possession. Clock stops at 3:02. Here's Ryan Hapgood on the 8-meter free position. Whistle's blown. Hapgood, that one past her stick. And they're gonna do it once again, as Hapgood will take her position around the fan.
Not quite sure what happened there, but
handkerchief was pulled on, and Hapgood's gonna try again. Shoot, this time stopped by Mahoney.
and it was only a matter of time before Mahoney made a save on one of those 8 meters. She's a great goalie, been struggling on those so far, but great job by her stepping up there against Hapgood, who's a great shooter.
And that was something we saw Hapgood score early in this game off the free position. And New Canaan now going to get the restart. Number 4, Kate Coyone, the junior, with the restart into a trio and triangle of Darien. Here's Stafford that comes away with it. Sadie Stafford rushing past Russell. Taking it all the way to the cage, stopped by Mahoney off her leg. And the rebound grabbed by Russell. A great job by Sadie Stafford, though, to take it just about to the cage and stopped by Mahoney, her last obstacle.
And it's a great save made by Mahoney there. I like to call that the kick save. Went right off her foot, and it's very fortunate the ball did go off the foot, because coming under 2 minutes left to go in this half, if Darien had extended that lead to 2 goals, there's no telling what would have happened in the future.
It is interesting. New Canaan's trying to keep this game close heading into the halftime huddle. Darien, on the other hand, looking to run away with it. Has 5-4 in favor of Darien. Still with under 2 minutes left in the opening half. Here's Caitlin Tully. Back over to Caroline Underwood. Underwood right back to Caitlin Tully. Tully scored the first goal for New Canaan in this one. That one tied us up at 1. Here's number 3, Dylan Patton, the senior attack. Now over to the stick of Underwood. A minute left to play in regulation. Or not in regulation, the first half rather. Kaylee Harden. Being guarded by Benoit. They're keeping it moving. The swing over to Russell. Once again, Darien pushes away this New Canaan offense. 30 seconds now. Dylan Patton. Slowing it down, 20 seconds. Apologies, our scoreboard graphic off by 10 seconds or so. 20 seconds, now 13, 12. 10 now left to shoot for New Canaan. Here's Patton. Over to Tully. Tully shoots, stopped by Dolce. And that one out of play and will take us to the end of the first half. Darien with the 5-4 lead heading into the halftime huddle, and a big stop by Shea Dolce at the end there, Jackson. And what do you think is going to be said by both of these huddles? But first of all, what did you see in this first half?
Well, just going back to that last play really quickly, New Canaan couldn't have drawn it up any better than that. Dylan Patton drew the double team. He kicked it back to Caitlin Tully, who got a great look, but they're still going into this game only down 1. Both teams are fully in this. You know, this game means a lot to both of these teams, and we saw a close game, just what we expected going in, and I expect to see more of that in the second half, Braden.
We're going to start with head coach Lindley and Darien. Of course, they get that big momentum boost, the save from Dolce at the end. What do you think their mentality going into the halftime is going to be?
Well, they've played great so far. They've obviously looked phenomenal on defense with Shea Dolce just anchoring their squad out there. But on the draw, they've struggled a little bit. New Canaan hasn't done a lot with their possessions, but they have controlled the time of possession so far. They're going to want to try to fix that and get more possessions so they can control this game and extend their lead in the second half.
They have indeed 7-3 in favor of New Canaan on those draw controls. Now, how about the Rams? What do you think they're saying to try to get back in this game?
Well, obviously, they've struggled defensively on these 8-meter attempts. Darian's been able to capitalize numerous times and really been able to punish the Rams. But on the offensive end, we've seen some droughts. They've had some success with getting some players in space, dodging. We saw that cut and feed play to Stella Nolan. They just need to settle down and figure out what works for them offensively so they avoid these long stretches where they can't score.
We do still have 25 minutes left to play in this one. We're going to take a short break for the halftime. You're watching this production of the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation in conjunction with Local Live and NCTV. We'll be right back with second half lacrosse of this 2022 FCIAC Girls Lacrosse Championship.
The technology upgrades provided by the Darien Foundation has been a game changer for us. It's allowed us to improve our training. It has helped us hone our skills. Thanks to our partnership with the Darien Foundation, who's provided all this technology and several grants throughout the years, we're able to continue to be prepared to respond whenever you need it.
I'd like to thank the Darien Foundation for their continued support. They've been a wonderful partner, and they've taken this vision that we've had for this property and make it a reality.
Thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have this amazing new van, and we are so excited about it and what it'll do for the community.
This is going to be a real improvement in the services we provide. The Darien Foundation is important to the community in the scope that they reach out to answer needs.
It's important for people to be proud of where they live and to understand that if they want a better society, that they need to fund places like the Darien Foundation and the places like the Mather Homestead, because they're so rich in cultural achievements that it makes it a better place to live.
Celebrating and supporting Darien athletes. That is a simple mission of the Darien Athletic Foundation. Broadcasting live from the field, DAF Media covers 125 games a year. All Darien teams, our youth, in our town, on our fields. Fields like the Center Oval and Upper Oval turfs, the JV softball field, and Stadium East, the longest turf in New England. All made possible by the Darien Athletic Foundation and its generous founders and donors. The Darien Athletic Foundation is not just committed to building our town's athletic infrastructure, it's improving the civic infrastructure for everyone to enjoy. The multimedia scoreboard, the snack bar pavilion, and the stadium lights, a $750,000 investment that makes Darien High School just the second school in Connecticut with LED lights. The Darien Athletic Foundation board is made up of local parents who know just how quickly it goes by. Its archives of more than 60,000 photos capture those precious moments of our young athletes as they strive to be their very best. The Darien Athletic Foundation has raised almost $9.5 million for our town and its kids, and it's not stopping there. As it continues to build a legacy for our youth, as bright as their future,
Another one.
both on
good.
and off the field. Celebrating and supporting Darien athletes. That is a simple mission of the Darien Athletic Foundation. Broadcasting live from the field, DAF Media covers 125 games a year. All Darien teams, our youth, in our town, on our fields. Fields like the Center Oval and Upper Oval turfs, the JV softball field, and Stadium East, the longest turf in New England. All made possible by the Darien Athletic Foundation and its generous founders and donors. The Darien Athletic Foundation is not just committed to building our town's athletic infrastructure, it's improving the civic infrastructure for everyone to enjoy. The multimedia scoreboard, the snack bar pavilion, and the stadium lights, a $750,000 investment that makes Darien High School just the second school in Connecticut with LED lights. The Darien Athletic Foundation board is made up of local parents who know just how quickly it goes by. Its archives of more than 60,000 photos capture those precious moments of our young athletes as they strive to be their very best. The Darien Athletic Foundation has raised almost $9.5 million for our town and its kids, and it's not stopping there, as it continues to build a legacy for our youth as bright as their future, both on and off the field.
We're back on the DAF Media Network as we are waiting the second half in this one. 5-4 our score in favor of the Darien Blue Wave. Braden Shank and Jackson Easley with you. So glad you could be with us. And a good defensive battle we have been treated to today. And going to take a look at the goalies here in this one. First, got to start with the big goalie for Darien, and Shea Dolce, just the game she has had in the first half. 5 saves for Darien. And you see her stats there from Tuesday. Her stat line, 9 saves, 8 goals against. But definitely a staple as we've been talking about all afternoon for the Darien Blue Wave. Then on the other side, Claire Mahoney, 3 saves for Claire in the first half. And she will be off to Brown in the fall to play lacrosse. There's Mahoney. 7 saves on Tuesday against the Wilton Warriors. We are now back, though, for the start of the second half. Darien in their black jerseys with the blue numbering. Now we'll be moving from right to left on your screen. New Canaan in the white jerseys with the red numbering, moving from left to right. First draw control of the second half will be going in favor of the Rams. New Canaan had the shot at the end of the first half to knot us up, was unable to convert it. Dolce with the big stop.
And 5-4, certainly a low-scoring first half if you consider that these two teams in their prior 2 FCIAC tournament games both put up combined 30 goals.
Good stat right there, and these are just 2 high-powered offenses. I asked you before the game how you thought the 2 top teams in the nation was going to play out. And you said it was either going to be an offensive battle or a defensive battle, and we've seen the defensive battle here today, 5-4, and still in favor of Darien.
100%.
And as Darian transitions, and I'm going to give a shout out to our production crew this afternoon, because I haven't done that yet today, and I probably should have. Our production crew, Justin Herron, Emily Fox, Harrison Bell, Chris Fallon, Kate Bogdan, our DAF media advisor, Damian Andrew, overseeing this entire operation. CC Stein wraps that one around. You are watching this production of the DAF Media Network in conjunction with Local Live and NCTV. As Holmes right back over to Stein. Here's Sadie Stafford. Now to Holmes. Whistle blown on it. And they're going to call an illegal pick on McGuckin. The second time Molly has had the first one was Humphrey. And that one actually again on Chloe Humphrey, number 2. So 2 illegal picks on Humphrey. And now New Canaan will get the free position restart.
And the Rams fortunate to get a turnover off that one. Maybe a little bit of an acting job there done by senior defenseman Jade Lowe, but nonetheless, Rams get the turnover and a crucial possession to start this second half, down 1.
J-Lo, the senior, off to Williams to play lacrosse. As you mentioned, had the drew the illegal pick. As now here's Patterson, Ella Patterson, the junior for the Rams. Now taking it up over to Tully. Lexi Tully now taking it in the offensive zone. DeMarc gonna push her away. Now over to Tully. The shot there stopped by Dolce. Rebound just past the stick of Stella Nolan. And an opportunity missed for the Rams as Dolce picks up save number 6. Shea Dolce gonna slow it down. And Jackson, what do you think New Canaan needs to do to adjust to Shea Dolce and start trying to drain him back to the back of the net? Because Dolce's made 3 saves in a row.
Obviously, shot selection is going to be key for the Rams. You can't really force up anything against a goalie like this and hope that it slips past her. You need to settle for good shots on the offensive end where you can work on placement and try to snipe for corners against a goalie like that.
Canaan now try to play the defense on Darien as that one's passed over to Ramsey. Maggie Ramsey, the senior, had 2 goals against Richfield on Tuesday in the semifinal. Had a strong shot to her. Ryan Hapgood checking over the sideline looking for the play. And that one knocked on the ground. And Kaylee Harden will come away with it. It's interesting, Jackson, you look over on the Darien sideline and they pulled out a play card similar to what you would see in football trying to call the plays. At least I assume that's what it was, just a poster from one of the Darien players on the sideline. But nonetheless, New Canaan will turn it over and get the possession.
And a great defensive play there made by Kaylee Harden, who's honestly just such a great two-way player for this Rams team. She's obviously well known for her.
Intercepted. Here's Humphrey now. Now one knocked out of her stick. She takes a stick to the head. And we're going to see a yellow card on number 24, Ella Patterson. And Humphrey took a stick right to the head. So Darien now will go on the man up.
And that's just how quickly this game can turn around. It looked like New Canaan was about to get a possession, and just like that, Darien can just strike and get the ball back with a golden opportunity here against Mahoney.
Chloe Humphrey, 2 goals to her name, looking for the hat trick on the 8-meter free position. Play blown in. Humphrey gonna shoot that one low, stopped by Mahoney in the violation on Humphrey trying to grab her own rebounds.
Great save there by Mahoney. She's really turned the switch on as of late, stepping up and making some huge saves down the stretch here.
Here is the New Canaan Rams on the offense. Underwood right back over to Kaylee Harden. Kaylee Harden into the offensive zone. Past her defender Stafford. Now over, pickpocketed by Massey. Whistle is going to be blown on it, bringing it back a bit. 20:24, our clock stopped at. And the possession turned over to Darien. Didn't see the call on it. Darien definitely fans of the call. Maggie Ramsey. Over to CC Stein. Right back over to Hapgood. Once again, Darien on the man up right now as Patterson put the stick on Humphrey's head, got called for it. Her first yellow card of the afternoon. Now one thrown over to McGuckin. She's going to cut and score. Molly McGuckin with the goal, and Darien extends the lead to 2.
And a phenomenal cut there by McGuckin. She caught the Rams sleeping on the defensive end, maybe ball watching a bit, able to backdoor her defender and set herself up for a golden opportunity there.
McGuckin, the Trinity commit for Lacrosse, scores right there. Had 4 goals in the semifinal on Tuesday, and a big one right there. And Darien staying on the man up as Patterson will take the knee down. And how important do you think that is for Darien to capitalize potentially again on the man up?
Well, these man up opportunities in tight contested games like this where goals are kind of hard to come by, are opportunities you just simply must take advantage of, especially in a championship game, a rivalry game, where every possession is just so crucial.
Back to the draw circle. Still been dominated by New Canaan all afternoon. 8-3 the score from the draw circle.
And if you're New Canaan here, you're down 2 goals, a little bit under 20 minutes left to go in this one. It's not time to panic, but it's certainly time to get some productivity on the offensive end. You need to work now because this Darien team can just go on these crazy runs where they really extend the lead and put you out of it.
And that's something that Darien, they did in the regular season when they met, and that's just what they need to do right here. They did it on the semifinal. They've done it in pretty much every game they've played this year. They hit that point and just accelerate and don't look back. McGuckin's going to field the ground ball. Big draw control for the Blue Wave. Here's Humphrey. Chloe Humphrey makes one nice move. She's going to shoot and score. Going top shelf is Chloe Humphrey. That is her hat trick, and Darien goes up 7-4.
And if you're Darien, that is exactly what you needed. We mentioned it. Darien could just put their foot on the gas pedal and run away with massive leads coming into the second halves of these games and just put these games out of reach. But New Canaan has the firepower on offense to turn this thing around. They just need to act quickly.
A big goal from Chloe Humphrey. We saw that in the semifinal on Tuesday, Jackson. Humphrey gains possession, just goes sprinting past the opposition. No one can stop her, takes it to the cage and takes the shot high and drains it in the back of the net. 7-4 our score. And I asked you this at the half. I'm going to ask you again. What does New Canaan need to adjust to try to fight back in this game?
Well, obviously, there's been a bit of a slide for them defensively. You know, they were caught ball watching on that 6th goal Darien scored. I forgot who that was by. And then on that Humphreys goal, when she just absolutely torched through the defense to kind of capitalize on a defensive breakdown on the fast break. The New Canaan's gaps on defense have really been showing through, and they definitely need to patch those up, especially with the Darien offense that's so potent.
And that was something we saw going into the half. 5-4 Darien, and since the half, it's been a 3-0 scoring run for the Blue Wave. The Rams have not been able to get on the scoreboard out of the halftime huddle, so they're going to definitely need to change that if they want to try to come away with an FCIAC title. But our score is 7-4. Darien with the lead. We're going to take a short break with the timeout. You're watching this production of the DAF Media Network in conjunction with Local Live and NCTV, and we'll be right back. Sadie Safford and Lexi Tully in the draw circle. They are set to go at it here as New Canaan is looking to get the draw win and try to get the offense going. They have not scored since the halftime break. And for any team, that's really a killer. Stafford and Tully still the number in favor of the Rams on the draw controls, 8-4. But then the scoreboard is almost reversed, 7-4, Darien. That one is up. Stafford uncontested, jumps up off the head of McGuckin, grabbed by number 8, Devin Russell. And New Canaan's now going to try to use the quickness.
And this is a must-score possession for them, Braden. You cannot let Darien double up your score and get to 8-4. If you want to keep this thing competitive, you need a goal, and you need it now.
You do indeed, and you cannot let Darien continue to extend their lead in this one, especially the fact that they have scored the last 4 goals, actually the last 3 goals rather, in this game. Underwood over to Russell. Once again, a great crowd on hand here from Testa Field on the campus of Norwalk High School. Fans, students, other schools coming to watch this one. This really has been the game that everyone's wanted to see in this FCIAC title match. Here's Tully making a dodge for the cage. She's going to shoot, and that one stopped by Dolce, but it is going to set up the 8-meter. Here's Lexi Tully on the 8-meter free position. A goal would go a long way for New Canaan, breaking their slump. Tully shooting that one and scoring, fooling Shea Dolce on it, and they're going to give the goal to Tully. Number 23, Lexi Tully on the free position, gets the Rams on the board in the second half.
And that's just a massive goal. Obviously exactly what the Rams needed to close this Darien lead down to 2. And to get a goal like that from only a sophomore, that is just something Coach Kristen Woods is going to love to see. An underclassman stepping up in a championship game and delivering a clutch goal for your team.
Lexi Tully, 2 goals to her name, the sophomore. She's matching her total that she had Tuesday in the semifinal. And now New Canaan will start the climb back in this game, 7-5. Our score. Stafford and Tully on the draw. That one quickly won by Russell. New Canaan continuing to dominate on the draw controls. Here's number 8, Devin Russell, the sophomore. In the transition, it's Kaylee Harden. Once again, these teams are in the same class for the state tournament, so they potentially will be meeting in a state championship at Sacred Heart. They would be the 1 and the 3rd seed in this year's state tournament. Darien the 1, New Canaan the 3. The only team in between them, the Newtown Nighthawks at 14-1. Here's Devin Russell. And of course, Jackson, the oddity, last year we saw them having to meet in the FCIAC semifinals at Dunning Field, in which Darien won. So Darien's won the last 2 meetings between Darien and New Canaan. The flag's going to be pulled as the glasses of Nolan come off. And we're going to see a yellow card handed out to number 7, Morgan Massey.
And this is going to be a big opportunity here for the Rams, Braden. They've struggled a bit in this half and in the past 20 minutes in general of the game offensively, but with an opportunity like this, you got to capitalize, especially when you're down 2.
The free position for the Rams, a man up. Whistle blows it in, retreating that one back. Smart play by Stella Nolan. You know you're the man up, so you have to definitely play smarter than you normally would. Lexi Tully. And over to number 6, Kaylee Harden. You can definitely tell Darien trying to shift the matchups and get them in their favor as Harden's going to move it along to Patton. Here's Tully down low. Right back over to Stella Nolan. Caroline Underwood going to touch it. Keeping it moving at X to Tully. Harden going to think about it. Get it right back over to Russell. Devin Russell makes a nice spin move. Stays with it. Shot and off of the post. Great rebound, though, by Tully to keep it with the Rams. And Darian will breathe the sigh of relief.
And that was a dangerously close shot there for Shea Dolce. I almost thought it even went in for a second. A great take there by Devin Russell.
I did too, Jackson. It looked like from here it might have gotten the white netting. And the whistle is going to be blown on Darien. So we're going to see a free position awarded to the Rams at the 8-meter. And it's going to be number 6, Kaylee Harden. Harden has 1 goal to her name in this one. Hungry for a second one. Kaylee Harden makes one nice move. Makes another. Spinning it. Passing it over to Patton. And the whistle keeping it with the Rams. They're going to get a restart on the 8-meter. Benoit forced to come out. Dylan Patton. Patton going to the cage, bouncing that one, stopped by Dolce. And a big stop by Shea Dolce, save number 8 for the Darien senior. As Massey has just been released from the penalty box, both teams back to even strength. That was the big equalizer. Jackson, and the shot there stopped by Mahoney. And Darien trying to now shift the momentum back in their favor. But
and great saves on both ends, Braden. And that save by Shea Dolce on Dylan Patton was
Down low, Tully, one-on-one, she's gonna shoot and score! Well, Caitlin Tully with the goal, and we have ourselves a one-goal game.
And a bang-bang sequence there. We had a Dolce save, Mahoney save, and then on the other end, Tully is going to get her second goal. What a phenomenal play by her, taking advantage of the play in transition and burying it past Dolce.
Caitlin Tully, the senior, with her second goal. And once again, the game of runs continues. The second goal for New Canaan, and the timeout will be taken by head coach Lisa Lindley and the Blue Wave. I mean, seriously, Darien scores the first goal in the game. New Canaan scores the next three. The Darien scores the next three. Darien starts the half with 3, and then New Canaan with the most recent 2 goals. 7-6 is where we stand. We're going to take a short break with the timeout from Coach Lindley and the Darien Blue Wave. And you are watching the DAF Media Network, the joint venture of the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation. We'll be right back. Head coach Lisa Lindley going to dig into her depth once again and the draw circle. Chloe Humphrey set to take the draw against number 23, Lexi Tully. Both teams with 1 timeout still left in regulation. New Canaan has scored the last 2 goals. Lexi Tully and Caitlin Tully. Similar story to the first 2 that New Canaan scored from the Tully sisters. As it's Humphrey and Tully in the draw circle. 14:50 left in regulation.
And Braden, we were talking about this in the break. I think it could be a 10-7 game right now if it weren't for the play of Shea Dolce. She has played absolutely phenomenal with the amount of shots that she has saved that have been very difficult saves and great takes for New Canaan. It is astonishing that they are still trailing in this game.
Violation on Humphrey, so New Canaan will get the control. That ball on the ground, the push on the Rams, and Darien will get the call. Darien now using the quickness. That's McGuckin that picks it up. Using the speed past 3 defenders over to Maggie Ramsey. And this is the time Darien needs to slow the ball down. They had the score at 7-4, and now New Canaan makes it 7-6. Sadie Stafford with the possession. Coming across the 25 with it. Over to Stein. CC Stein, the free position goal in the first half in this one. Since then, not much. She's going to make a move at X. Make a nice move again on Russell. Shoot that one. Stopped by Mahoney, and it's going to trickle out of play, but the possession's going to stay with the Blue Wave. So CC Stein going to the free position at the 8-meter. She has a big opportunity to potentially extend Darien's lead to 2. Mahoney gets set in between the pipes. Stein dashes to the cage, shoots that one and scores! Going right over the shoulder of Claire Mahoney, and CC Stein picks up her second goal as Darien breaks the New Canaan scoring run.
Great job creating that opportunity there by Stein on the play that drew this 8-meter attempt. She kind of had Devin Russell overextended there a bit, got past her and forced the push to set up that. And that's a great job by her extending the lead to 2.
CC Stein with the free position goal for the Blue Wave. New Canaan now trailing by 2. Stein, the Michigan-bound senior captain for Darien. She was selected to the U18 U.S. national team for lacrosse, a big accomplishment for Cece. And this is just the first step in a long career. She'll go on once again to play college lacrosse at Michigan University. Future Wolverine. Darian now going to Casey Benoit, it appears, in the draw circle. And she faces off against Tully once again, won by the Rams. And you can tell, Jackson, head coach Lindley's just going to anybody to take those draws. She's desperate to win one.
That's 100% right. And when you have so much depth on your team, you can try multiple players in different matchups to see what you like.
Harden being guarded by Benoit. And that's the thing, is New Canaan has had the possession on it. It's just been all Shea Dolce. 8 saves in this game. Tully. Right back to Harden. Now number 8, Devin Russell. Russell being given some room from Massey and Hopgood. Here's Underwood. Darby playing the tight D once again. Now Kate DeMark will take her shot with Patton, and now back to Harden. Tully. Very slow with it. Great cut, and scoring is Kaylee Harden. Cutting right over the middle. And the goal from Harden is good. And we're right back to a 1-goal game.
What a play there by Kaylee Harden, doing what she's been doing all year long with these electrifying cuts and finishes. Such a great, well-rounded player that just contributes so much leadership to this team.
Kaylee Harden, the hockey player in the winter, used to always moving, finding the next opportunity, and does that right there as New Canaan puts their 7th goal up on the scoreboard. Kate DeMark now will come onto the draw circle. The 4th different draw taker for Darien in the past 4 draws. DeMark, the Virginia commit, just a junior. Both teams number 23s in this one. Lexi Tully on the other side, the sophomore. A great day at the draw circle. And this one picked up by DeMark. Moved over to Massey, right back to the goalie, Dolce. Shea Dolce over the middle to Stein. Tully's gonna try to play the defense on it. And Stein's gonna now move it into the offensive zone. Great job by Stein. And Stein's gonna trip on it, stay with it. Now moving it over to Sadie Stafford. Darian Holmes over to Ramsey. Maddox right behind the net with it. Here's Sadie Stafford. Back over to Holmes. Darian trying to find something. Kelly Holmes, the sophomore, right back over to Stein. CC Stein goes to her dominant hand. Gonna take this one near the cage and shoot and score. No goal. They're gonna call a crease violation. A big call going in favor of the Rams. They say Stein just gets the foot inside the crease.
And a huge break from Mahoney and the Rams after that long dragged out possession from Darien to result in nothing but a turnover.
A silly error there by Darien. And now New Canaan's gonna look to capitalize on it and potentially tie us up. Underwood.
And you have to think if Stein were able to finish that goal, it would have just been huge for Darien's momentum, kind of killing the Rams after this run that they've been on.
It would indeed, and Darien's shown they're going to tire out the Rams, play the longer possession game, and being able to capitalize would have been a big one. Here's Tully over to the stick of Nolan. That's actually Underwood. Now back to Tully. The other Tully going to touch it at X. Great job by Darien's defense. Emily Darby. Tully's going to try to make a move. Throws this one on net and scores! Caitlin Tully with the top tier goal, and we are tied at 8. And I think that might have been Lexi Tully, actually. But still a goal for New Canaan.
And how many goals do the Tully sisters have right now, Braden?
A lot. I'm counting.
I think it's 5.
I think that's correct. A big goal from Lexi Tully. And we are tied at 8, the first time since 3-3 that we have had a tie in this game. And ever since that 3-3 tie, Jackson, New Canaan has not taken a lead in this game. A big goal from Lexi Tully. That is her hat trick. Her sister Caitlin, 2 goals. And then Kaylee Harden, the other 2, as well as one from Stella Nolan.
And just such a crafty play there by Lexi Tully. I believe she got backhand on that one, slipping through the crease and sneaking it by an elite goalie in Shea Dolce.
That was one I completely lost her falling on the ground, was just looking at the net, waiting for the movement, and you could see it just going to that near side past Dolce, but we are knotted up at 8 to Mark and Tully.
You have to think back to that crease violation by CC Stein, a potential 2-goal swing in the Rams' favor, and this game is going to be very interesting for the remaining 10 minutes.
It's actually Harden in there for New Canaan, but Kate DeMark is going to slow it down, gain the possession. There's Morgan Massey. New Canaan once again has scored the last 2 goals in this game. The runs continue. It was 8-6. Darien with the CC Stein goal, and then Kaylee Harden and Alexi Tully with 2 goals to tie us up at 8. And if you're just joining us, Braden Shank and Jackson Easley with you. So glad you can be with us on the DAF Media Network, NCTV, or local live, wherever you're watching from. Here is Sadie Stafford as we bring you this coverage of the 2022 FCIAC Girls Lacrosse Championship. A champion will be crowned tonight from Testa Field on the campus of Norwalk High School. Here's Chloe Humphrey, makes a nice spin move, trying to go back into it. And that's really just a next level play from Humphrey right there. Doesn't take the shot, smartly with it, gets it over to CC Stein.
High IQ play there, backing it out. She saw she drew the triple team and wisely pulled that one away.
That's a tough matchup for any opposition guarding Chloe Humphrey, but Ramsey's now have a look on it, gonna just retreat it out to the stick of Quinn. Colette Quinn getting pushed around by number 8, Russell. Bounces over to McGuckin. CC Stein.
And the Rams defense is looking very good right now, Braden. They've been sliding quickly on these Darien threats offensively, like Stein, Humphrey. Done a good job containing right now.
Here's Sadie Stafford. Right back over to Quinn. Collect Quinn. Now Stafford. Darian slowing it down. Under 8 minutes left to play. Still a lot of lacrosse left on this Wednesday night from Testa Field. CC Stein over to Holmes. Kelly Holmes down low. Pass completed to Humphrey. She's going to try to go low through some traffic. And they're going to call the foul on the Blue Wave, giving it to the Rams.
And I think that's the best defense I've seen this Rams team play all season long. They were sliding quickly, shutting down any dodges, and a great job even swarming on the crease there to force a turnover.
Clock stopped at 7:28. But a big play there. Darien was showing they were going to go to Chloe Humphrey, and the Rams stepped up to the battle and took it well. Dylan Patton running around with Hapgood. Now on the ride. Over into the attacking zone. Patton's going to continue to find the holes.
Great job there by Patton. She's been a one-girl clear all season long. So great when your team is a player like that, you can just give the ball to and let her clear it.
Patton cutting, shoots that one just wide. Dylan Patton had a look, cut right over the middle.
And opportunities like that don't come very often. Great look there from Patton.
And Buchanan had a look there. Here's Russell. Russell's going to shoot that one wide once again. Might have gotten the stick of Dolce. But once again, Jackson, New Canaan is just firing these shots. And they are just going wide with them.
And that's 2 great opportunities from them in a row.
Benoit with the check there on Tully. Now Tully behind the net at X. Cuts that one. The shot there, and it's in! Caroline Underwood scores for the Rams, and they take a 1-goal lead. A great pass to Underwood, who's sitting in front of the cage and buries it past Shea Dolce.
Phenomenal play there by Underwood. I've been waiting all game for her to get on the board. She's just such a smart player, finds exactly the void in the defense to exploit.
Goal number 4 for Underwood in this FCIAC postseason. A big one for the Rams. And the wave now going for the New Canaan side, or for the New Canaan fans here. The student section showing up for the Rams in the whiteout. That is now DeMarc and Harden back on the draw rather. And Jackson, now if you're Darien, you had a lead at 8-6, you're now down 9-8. How do you make that adjustment?
I think most of their struggles have been on the defensive end. New Canaan's really just been able to open up the scoring, and they played very well in the first 10 minutes of the half. If they can try to go back to what they were doing there, just communicating and running the defense through Dolce, I think they'll be just fine.
And that one taken by the Rams. Kaylee Harden, another draw control for New Canaan, number 13 for the Rams, and that's really been the big differentiating factor, Jackson, the draw controls, setting up the New Canaan possessions.
And thus far in the game, it's kind of been canceled out by the stellar play we've seen by Dolce, just shutting down a lot of these shots New Canaan's been able to put on goal. But as of late, New Canaan has been on quite the run, and Darien definitely needs to slow their roll.
9-8 our score in favor of the New Canaan Rams in this FCIAC title game. Tully finding Patton. Russell going to dump it back to Patton. Going high, but caught by Nolan. Stella Nolan going to dump it right back to Kaylee Harden. Dylan Patton. Canaan slowing it down. They are in no rush whatsoever. Head coach Lindley telling her team, you need to play a little bit more aggressive on it. You need to force the ball loose and try to set up the offense.
And New Canaan's been playing down for most of this half, but now with this 1-goal lead, as you said, Braden, they're in no rush. They're just content to let this clock run down as much as they can.
Under 5 minutes. It's still anyone's game. Dylan Patton finds that one. Stumbling with it is Tully. And they're being uncontested. Here's Darby's now going to step up to the plate against Patton. Right back to Patton. Canaan now playing the cat and mouse game as Darby's going to come out. Darian desperately needs to knock the ball loose. Kaylee Harden playing nifty around Sadie Stafford. Stafford past her, she fools her, and now Kaylee Harden off to the races, off to Stella Nolan. Stella Nolan now running around with the ball on her stick. High pass, caught by Underwood, a risky one. Whistle is going to be blown. Light contact from Benoit, but she's going to be forced to get the free position. And New Canaan, they just need 3.5 more minutes of running this ball around. No shot clock, so that's not going to help the Blue Wave tonight, rather.
And in past games, we've seen the Rams be very aggressive in these situations, just taking it to the goal and not opting to run the clock. But with a goalie like Dolce in net, you just have to be careful. You can't really shoot it on her unless you get a very good look, because she'll punish you.
You also got to look at the fact Jackson is now forced in the corner there. Clock has stopped at 3:06, and we're going to see a timeout. I think a timeout, I believe, and they're going to call a timeout. Not sure who it's on, but a timeout has been taken with 3:06. New Canaan takes their final timeout in this second half, and Jackson, what do you think Darien needs to do here besides get the turnover, of course?
Well, I feel like the turnover is their number one priority. You need some aggressiveness. You're down 1, and New Canaan has shown that they're content to run this clock as much as they possibly can. You can feel secure taking risks with a goalie like Dolce. So you just got to press out, use some of your faster players, and just attack the ball and double team.
I'm going to pick your brain here a second. I know you're not the head coach here, but if you were head coach Kristen Woods, what is your game plan here? Do you try to go the full 3 minutes, 5 seconds running the ball around and just try to run the clock out, or do you try to get a shot if you have the look?
You definitely take the shot if you have the look. You have so many great threats offensively, such experienced players, and Patton, Tully, and Harden. If you get the stick and if you get the ball in the stick of one of your senior players that's experienced, they've been in these moments before, and especially if you get the Darien defense overextending, trying to force a turnover, you can get a good look and you should take it.
And that's going to be the big thing, is if New Canaan takes the high risk option, there is a risk associated with it, because if they miss the goal or if Dolce makes the save, this Darien offense has shown they can come out firing, try to tie this game up. But 9-8 our score. New Canaan with the lead. 3 minutes and 6 seconds left. You are watching the DAF Media Network in conjunction with Local Live and NCTV. Our production crew this afternoon: Justin Herron, Emily Fox, Harrison Bell, Chris Fallon, Kate Bogdan, our DAF Media Advisor, Damian Andrew, Braden Shank, and Jackson Easley with you. So glad you could be with us here from Testa Field, as it's going to be an exciting one. Once again, the winner of this match today will be taking home a piece of hardware for their school. For New Canaan, their 3rd FCIAC title in program history. Darien would be their 19th in program history. So the big number difference, if you will, as Shea Dolce will start on the defense. So the wide open net for Darien, and they're going to play the extra defender. Plays blown in. Quickly, Patton met with the double team of Benoit and Stafford. And the whistle blow, clock going to continue to tick. Benoit forced to, clock stops at 2:54, but Benoit going to go behind her. Patton with the restart. Once again, Stafford and Benoit, she's going to go to the cage. Make a nice move, force it right back out to Tully.
And Patton certainly had a shot there if she wanted it. Clearly, Coach Woods told her team, just do not take a shot. The Rams are clearly looking like they want to hold the ball here.
Being double teamed now. Still unable to get it loose. The aggressive play, the push is going to be called. Clock going to continue to tick. And the clock is now being wasted. 2 minutes, 20 seconds. The restart from Russell. Darien needs the ball. Double teamed once again. Russell still maneuvering her way through. Pass over to Harden. High one caught. The goal is once again wide open. Dolce playing the extra defender. Nice move by Harden. Now being triple teamed. Kaylee Harden. Over to Russell. Devin Russell being very smart with it. Darien just needing something. That ball is knocked loose. The whistle is blown. And the ref is going to keep it with New Canaan. A big call on Sadie Stafford. And no turnover. The ball stays with the Rams. They're going to be slow with the restart. 1:40. Russell with the restart. High pass over to Underwood. Underwood over to Patton. Some action at the restraining line. Trying to push him out of the box. Here's now Patton. Patton running with it. Darien bringing some fresh legs out onto the field. Humphrey checking back in now on the defense. The pass over to Nolan. Darien just needs to knock the ball loose. If you're New Canaan, you just keep playing the monkey in the middle game, if you will. As now in the corner with it is Tully. Pass over the middle, caught, the shoot, and the goal! Stella Nolan with the goal for New Canaan, and it's a 10-5 game. Tully runs around in the end zone with it, dumps it off to Nolan with a wide open cage, and the Rams go up by 2.
What a play there from Stella Nolan, Braden. And you love the confidence from her. Just quick sticking that one in the back of the net. No goalie to face her. I was wondering when that was going to happen on the Rams' end. They've just been circling the ball around. They had many opportunities for shots, but you love the aggressiveness. It's obviously a very tense situation when you're only up 1, trying to spin the ball around and prevent a turnover. But now with a 2-goal lead, if you're New Canaan, you're much more confident.
And this is the big one here. Darien needs to win this draw, and they have struggled all night with it. Only 6 draw controls compared to New Canaan's 13. Kaylee Harden and Kate DeMark on the draw.
And obviously this one is far from over, Braden. We've seen how fast Darien can strike and go on runs in this game. Should be very interesting to watch the last minute here.
This one now, DeMark into the open space. She will pick it up, take it to the restraining line. Under a minute left. DeMark using her speed. The field hockey player taking it into the offensive zone. Slowing it down, though. Darien needs to go with it, though, because they are chasing 2 goals with it. DeMark over to the stick. And now keeping it to McGuckin. They have 40 seconds down low. Darien might run themselves out of the clocks. Stein going to try to wrap it around. CC Stein once again pulling it out. 30 seconds out. Cutting down low, bouncing that one over the net. Possession staying with Darien. That clock is going to keep on ticking. The quick restart from Humphrey. Chloe Humphrey now at X with it. She is running low on time. Dumping that one up to nobody. And that's going to go to the restraining line. Getting pushed over with it. Whistle is blown. Clock is going to continue to run. They're going to stop the clock. 13.8. And this game is now getting to the crunch time. Massey on the restart. Going to be double teamed to start. New Canaan can feel it coming. 13 seconds is all they need to tick off. 13 seconds. Massey going to be quickly double teamed on it. 13.8. Morgan Massey on the restart. Darien needs to go quick with it. Quickly met with the defender. Passing that one over. Down low. Pass to Humphrey. And that ball's going to be grabbed by a pelt. And that's going to be Mahoney that picks it up. 1 second. And that is going to do it. New Canaan has upsetted Darien, ended the perfect season, and picked up their 3rd all-time FCIAC title in program history. The back-to-back is complete for head coach Kristen Woods and the New Canaan Rams, your 2022 FCIAC Girls Lacrosse champion. Wow.
And just a completely different game from the previous meeting between these two teams, in which we saw Darien able to really extend that lead in the last 10 minutes of the game to put it out of reach for New Canaan. But New Canaan just kept coming back. It was a game of runs, and we saw them go back and forth today, Braden. But ultimately, New Canaan kept it close and just squeaked past at the end there, using that 1-goal lead to run as much clock out as possible and then get the easy garbage time goal.
The big differentiating factor in this one, CC Stein scores for Darien, makes it 8-6 Blue Wave, and then Kaylee Harden, Lexi Tully, Caroline Underwood, and Stella Nolan score 4 in a row to give New Canaan the 10-8 victory over the Darien Blue Wave. A big win for the New Canaan Rams. Darien, they were perfect this year, 17-0. New Canaan comes in up to the challenge, and a big win for the Rams of New Canaan, 10-8. Jackson, final thoughts in this one?
Just a phenomenal game, exactly what we expected going in. You know, back and forth, both teams brought the intensity, and obviously not the finish that Darien wanted, but they'll have a second crack at New Canaan at all likelihood in the state playoff tournament. So it'll be very interesting to see how this story ultimately ends.
1993, 2021, and now 2022. The 3 FCIAC girls lacrosse titles New Canaan has, and they are just, you got to assume they're happy on this one. They're going to go home and celebrate. An easy task for them. Not an easy task, but they stepped up to the plate, played Darien well tonight, 10-8. And Jackson, if you're Darien, how are you adjusting things going into the state tournament knowing that you were up 8-6 with just a couple minutes left to go?
Well, they might want to take a play out of New Canaan's book. We saw how New Canaan ran out about 5 minutes of clock there to end the game and extend their lead. But Darien they were too streaky of a team. They were allowing New Canaan to go on these runs where their defense would just completely break down for minutes at a time. And you need to clean that up going into a state playoff.
And you also look at the fact that no shot clock in FCIAC girls lacrosse, something that has been talked about for a while, and this game potentially going in favor of the shot clock as New Canaan ran out 2 minutes or so of the clock, just not taking the shot. And it's a smart play if you think about it, and we've seen it in state championships before. The boys' championship in 2017, Darien Richfield 4-3 the final. Richfield held the ball for the entire fourth quarter. So it's a common play you might see, and New Canaan exploits it tonight, and they take this one by the final score of 10-8. But it was really the Tully sisters for New Canaan. They had what's that, 5 goals for them, I think, and really just a big effort for New Canaan. And we brought up Shea Dolce all night, 8 saves, and just struggled coming down the stretch, couldn't finish it. And the opposite for New Canaan, they were all down the stretch. And you see on your screen, they are now lining up at the 40-yard line as they will pick up their trophy for 2022. The 11th time these teams have met in an FCIAC championship, and only the 2nd time New Canaan has taken down the Blue Wave. And definitely one to remember, Jackson. So the teams are lined up awaiting the trophy presentation. We're now going to send you down on the field with FCIAC Commissioner Dave Scholes, and up here in the box, the FCIAC representative, Joe Modaferri.
Congratulations, girls, on a fantastic game, both teams. Thank you all very much for being here to support the girls. Our runner-up trophy, 2022 FCIAC runner-up, goes to the Darien Blue Wave. Great job, girls. Presenting the trophies is Mr. Dave Scholes, Commissioner on the FCIAC. And our 2022 Girls Lacrosse FCIAC champions are the New Canaan Rams. Captain, coach, here are the members of the Rams. Come on up from Mr. Schultz and get your medal. Number 1, Carolyn Barron. Number 2, Sydney Patton. Number 3, Dylan Patton. Number 4, Kate Coyote. Number 5, Stella Nolan. Number 6, Kaylee Harden. Number 7, Abby Richardson. Number 8, Devin Russell. Number 9, Caroline Underwood. Number 10, Jade Lowe. Number 11, Catherine O'Connell. Number 12, Ellie Petich. Number 13, Riley Shipman. Number 14, Molly Reed. Number 15, Caitlin Tully. Number 16, Jameson Malay. Number 17, Catherine Byrne. Number 18, Hollis Mulry. Number 19, Bella Lane. Number 20, Reagan Quinn. Number 21, Caroline Langford. Number 22, Catherine Norton. Number 23, Lexi Tully. Number 24, Ella Patterson. Number 25, Maddie Tully. Number 26, Izzy Apelt. Number 30, Izzy Shue. Number 38, Cece Patterson. And number 42, Claire Mahoney. The most valuable player of today's FCIAC championship game From the New Canaan Rams, number 42, Claire Mahoney. And now we can present the FCIAC Championship Trophy to Coach Kristen Woods and the captains and the New Canaan Rams. Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck, girls. Good luck, girls, in the state tournament. God bless you all. Thank you. Good night.
Once again, the New Canaan Rams are your 2022 FCIAC Girls Lacrosse Champions. Tears of joy for head coach Kristen Woods and the Rams. Only the third time they have done it in their program history. And Jackson, Darien, you can see they're hanging their heads a little bit. They were so close to it today, not able to get it done. They're seniors, their last chance at an FCIAC title. But they do still got to shift their attention to the state tournament. And how do you think they're going to do that?
With a team this good, there's no way that they're going to give up on their season. There's plenty of work for them left to do. They're just so talented, obviously undefeated coming into this game. The state playoffs present a new opportunity for them to really just step up and continue what they did prior to this game all season long.
The New Canaan Rams, the FCIAC champions, and it's going to be a happy night for those players and that coaching staff. The hard season of work, ending it off with the big win against their rival Darien by the final score of 10-8. Of course, the MVP, as you saw, Claire Mahoney, and the great game she put together tonight, 6 saves. And Mahoney was really dominant down the stretch where Darien tried to come back in and made the big stops, and it was really the entire New Canaan defense that kept him in it, and then the offense really put him away and gave it to New Canaan. They're going to take the victory lap. I'm going to give one final shout-out to our production crew tonight, bringing you all the sights and sounds in this one. A big thank you to all of them to coming up to Norwalk High School to stream this game. Justin Herron, Emily Fox, Harrison Bell, Chris Fallon, Kate Bogdan, and our DAF media advisor, Damian Andrew. A big thank you to the entire staff here at Norwalk High School for their hospitality and letting us in here. And, of course, a big thank you to our friends over at Local Live and the FCIAC, Commissioner Dave Scholes, and everyone giving us the ability and the opportunity to stream this game. And for our entire production crew, Jackson Easley, thank you for coming on the broadcast with me today and calling such a great game, one that is definitely going to be remembered for a long time to come. So for all of them, once again, the New Canaan Rams are your 2022 FCIAC Girls Lacrosse champions by the final score of 10-8 over the Darien Blue Wave. Saying so long from Norwalk's Testa Field, I've been Braden Shank, and we thank you for watching this production of DAF Media in conjunction with Local Live and NCTV. Good night.